Hi,
Hi.
I'm Ray.
I'm Johanna.
Johanna.
I'm Rick.
Hey, Rick. Glad to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
Here on a beautiful day, we're out here at Heartcart Farms. Tell me about day one. How did you find this place?
So our story goes way back, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
Way back.
So we met Tyler
2006, wasn't it? Or wait.
longer than that.
Yeah.
2000. Gosh, I believe it was 2, I think. So 2013. I
Yeah,
mean
right.
2005.
Yeah.
2005. So about 12 years we've known Tyler, and we knew him through Primerica Financial Services. So he was actually our regional vice president,
Mm-hmm.
and we hit it off instantly, and it was a God thing with Tyler. And we'd hang out with him over at his house all the time and watch movies and play games. Our kids became best friends, and to this day, our youngest and his daughter are best friends, inseparable.
Right on.
So they've known each other since they were babies, pretty much in diapers.
Mhm.
They're now 15 and 13. So
Sweet.
yeah, so it goes back a long ways, and we actually we hit some rough patches. Tyler went through a divorce, and we kind of stayed in touch. It was just a rough time for him,
Mhm.
as imagined.
Yeah.
He met Liz, and I remember him being so excited when he was talking to her online, because they met through an online dating site. And he just talked about, the things they talked about, and how certain he was of it. And he was in love with her before I think he even met her for the first time. But we were just in sporadic contact at that point. And we kind of fell out for a little, not fell out, but we just, life got in the way.
Right.
Life happened.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing, and he's doing his thing. And
Roads
We
go
were
different
foster
paths,
parents,
yeah.
and we had some craziness going on, like foster parents of up to 5 sibling group of 5 at once. And I mean, we
Wow.
just had some real major activity going on in our life.
Good for you. I mean,
yeah.
right on for you.
Yeah.
we,
So-
we had all sorts of stuff just going on back, in the day.
And we were the house that everybody, I mean, his mom, our friends, family members always moved in with us.
Uh-huh.
We were the ones that everybody was dependent on. So in 2006, no, it was later than that,
No, 2010.
2011,
We,
got in touch again, really.
yeah.
And we were talking about coming to visit, and they had only owned the property for about a year at that point, and it was nothing like you see now.
It was just a house, and this was actually backyard,
Just
not a
property.
lake.
Everything was overgrown.
It was pretty crazy.
It was just the barn at that point, I think, right? And another
Barn
outbuilding.
and then their tool shed. That was it.
Yeah, and it was just all overgrown. Oh, the things they had to do to clear this property out is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Poison
So
oak, and blackberry bushes, all sorts of critters running around. It was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
wild.
Were they,
everything,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
neglected, very
Uh-huh.
neglected property when they moved out here. And yeah, it was about 2000. Well, it was right on my 30th birthday too, so 2001 and 2000. Or 2011, yeah. So we had got in touch with him again, and he was inviting us to come up and see the property because we still hadn't seen it yet. It had been about a year since we bought it.
Uh-huh.
And we came up that weekend, and it was a reconnection thing all over again. We'd never really had the chance to sit down and really talk with Liz, and it was the first time we'd gone to the wedding and things, but it was the first time we actually really sat down and talked. And it was such an instant bond. And we knew instantaneously this is where we wanted to be. We'd always talked about wanting to live sustainably and live off the land, and that was always a very important value to us. So we had started talking about moving up here in August of that year, building a cabin on it because we wanted to come out and learn how to be sustainable, and we wanted to learn what they were learning at the same time, which he already had a pretty good pulse on. So we ended up making that plan, and within 2 weeks, Rick had he'd already essentially lost his job.
The economy was tanking, and all the construction jobs were going out. I'm an electrician.
Oh, yeah.
So the company I worked for 15 years, pretty much, we don't have no work for you. Like, well, I'm the number one
Yeah.
employee here,
Yeah,
and you're letting
yeah.
me go? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I
That's not a
understand.
good
Number one in
sign.
seniority,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we were pretty much, 1 week we're talking to Tyler, and 2 weeks later we're pretty much almost homeless.
Moving it. Yeah, we were.
We were,
homeless.
but we're not totally, but we had enough from like taxes to pay whatever bills to get everything ready so we can just move and come here. So
So
but that wasn't even part of the plan at that time. It was
There
just-
wasn't the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse wasn't.
No.
Where did
nothing
you
was
stay?
here yet.
Where did you
So we knew we were going to end up building a log cabin on the property. That was our plan, at least. And they had just built the four corners and the roof to what's now the cabin, which the apartment's attached to.
stay? Yes.
So it was just the
Just
four
a
wall posts and the
building
roof.
with the roof that was put on there, which we had to finish roofing.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Just
good
to
way
get
to
it
get
dried
your,
in, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way to get your slot.
Yeah. So, and we were one of the first people to ever be up here, live with them. It was
Yeah.
all new concept. It was everything was foreign as far as learning to live with other people, and it was a real balancing act to begin with. So there was a big learning curve as far as learning to share space and what works, what doesn't. But when we came out here, it was such a big shock because everyone had always been dependent on us. We were the ones that everybody turned to. So then to be the one who's homeless, who has no job, I had just had a mental breakdown. It was such a foreign place to be, and it was such a big pill to swallow because it was so completely upside down from everything we'd ever known.
Right.
So
But, yeah, so he came. Tyler's like, "Hey, we're gonna be homeless," and he's all like, "Come on in," you know.
Speed
and
up the timeline.
He just kind of picks up your pace. 'Cause we're planning to come in that summer. Well, we're coming in like 3 months, 4 months earlier. than
Oh
that.
yeah.
So we just picked up from working on that cabin. You know, figured I had to get that done, or else we're gonna be.
The rain was.
Rain is coming
it was
in.
a real issue.
And we had our kids. I mean, we have 3 kids, and they fortunately were sleeping in the house, but we'd kind of stay out there in that building
We
with
stayed
no
in the
walls
house
for anything for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then that winter, oh my gosh, that winter, because it was still on cement, we'd kind of put carpet down, and we'd gotten
We got we
done the
got it
logs. And,
when we moved in. We started working on getting that going, so we ended up having to get siding on, getting whatever material. He had a whole bunch of stuff here.
recycled
We
materials.
just kind of made it where more important just to get that building taken care of, so we have some place to stay. So we were able to get the whole thing sided, and we got all the logs thrown on and everything, and windows and doors, and did all the framing to get it dried in and stuff. So it was actual cabin.
So
Someplace to stay.
right. You kept the rain out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. That was an interesting couple storms where we literally had a river going through the middle of our cabin. Right through the middle of the parking lot, we
And
have a big old creek
2
running
inches, 3 inches of
through.
rain, like
the middle
we got
of
a pole
it.
here.
Yeah.
Our
You're
heat
not gonna
source
stop
was
that one.
scary. Oh man, that wood stove was scary.
But it worked.
It did. So so we were very primitive when we came here and very much in need and reaching out, and they were there.
Yeah.
And at what level was this farm was? Had they come up with their dream yet?
No, that
No,
actually,
we
that was
were-
a lot of, we had a lot of meetings,
Yeah,
and we
we-
realized communication was important. We had enough people live with us that we knew what worked and what didn't from that perspective.
Right.
So then we tried to apply it from the get-go so we didn't make the same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of communication,
Yeah.
and in that process, they were just shaping it.
Yeah.
They were gonna, they wanted to live sustainably, but then it was where it went from there. And so we started bringing up ideas, things we'd seen, like this came to be.
Like trampolines dug in the ground over there. It's like, hey,
Well,
Tyler, my friend, because he's getting this stuff dug out and stuff. It's like, my friend, he's an excavator, and he dug his trampoline in the ground. He's like, hey, that's a good idea. So he had the excavator come out and dig a hole.
Yeah.
That's what Tyler does, though. He takes ideas and he puts them into action. That's Tyler's thing. And there was so many. Yeah, there wasn't anything on this property at that point.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about vision. I guess it was about vision. It was always about vision of being sustainable. But there was no aim. We didn't know big picture look at what that looked like.
Right.
It was just the ideal of, okay, we want to be able to be as ecologically friendly as possible, be able to sustain ourselves, live off the land, so if something happens, we're able to take care of ourselves and we have the skills in place. And so that's for us a lot of what it was. And from talking to them, that was their goal too. And then as things happened, things just kept being introduced, different things that Tyler wanted to try out, or different things we'd seen, like the pigs and how to do the permaculture and the fishes. So all of it just came as Tyler was learning, as we were all learning how to harvest animals, learning how to, it would just all came as came together. It just so organically. It was
Right.
just something that was presented, and it was just meant to be, all of it as it came. And the Haley was a big part too. I mean, we all were, but as far as being able to feed, I remember Haley talking a lot about Haley coming home and concerned about the food sources and what's available, and our kids were too. We came up as a major concept of what we could do in the community, and how we could pay it forward, because we were all about paying it forward. So that being able to give back and that community spirit and trying to reach out to those who can't necessarily do for themselves. Maybe they're in a rough spot. So it just kind of evolved into that. The picking up the grain and the different things. That was really the start of that, because they got beer grain that they were then were able to feed to the calves. Well, the calves before that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of
There's so many things that happened along the way.
It was at the very beginning.
That
of
the
it.
calves was saving them because they were going to put down all the males, and so it was a dairy farm that were saying, "Hey, do you want the males? Come, you rescue them." And it was not the best of situations, I guess, for the steers.
Oh yeah.
And
pluck them out and get rid of them however they wanted to.
which was not always the
Which
nicest.
wasn't a
no,
good.
I've heard the story.
So-
It's
Not a nice
not a
thing.
good
So
deal. Not
It was
No.
awesome the fact that hey, you've got some calves here. You want to pick them up? So we boom, hop in their Jeep and put cows in the back in their Prius. I mean, we'd bring cows, and all sorts
Whatever
of different
was running around. It didn't bother them too bad. Back
Yeah.
seats, whatever, they were little, but
Yeah.
it was that was, I don't know, that was a kind of cool turning point, I think, though. It was the being able to see things in action, being able to go out and make a difference,
How
'Cause
long
then
did
that
you
turn-
stay here?
2.5, 3 years?
2.5. I think it's like 2.5 years.
Yeah, that we were out here. That first winter was rough,
Yeah,
and
that
so
was like living on the frontier.
we were like, okay, we have to do something else.
We had extension cords going in for power, for lights, and anything to, just have electricity. We had a
Yeah.
microwave out there,
Yeah.
It was something else.
But then the apartment came along, because we
Yeah.
were like, we can't do another winter like this,
Yeah, it's
because
like,
it was
let's-
very
So we pretty much inspired the cabin and the apartment.
I
We
love
funded
it.
the beginning parts of it.
Yeah,
Um,
and we brought in the work, and we got everything
yeah.
going. We
we
got
had
everything
a
done.
guy named Jack that was living with us. He was kind of roommating, and him and I were, put that whole entire thing
Yes.
together pretty much. And when I had time, and when actually after a couple of years or about a year, it was back to work.
Uh-huh.
So kind of, I didn't have as much time as I did before to be able to work on anything. But we were out there building that apartment in the middle of a rainstorm. We were putting the trusses up in the
I remember that. Oh
and
my
we're
goodness.
down extension ladders, we're nailing stuff down, and it's pouring down rain.
The
Yeah.
wind and the...
Trying to get
And,
the roof
and
on
you're
this thing.
you're sitting watching this guy.
Oh no, I'm hands on.
I was
you're
working
right.
too.
Oh
We were
yeah.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
all out there, trying to get the thing ready so we can get some place drier to stay.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
cabin
good
was-
motivation.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So we got that apartment taken care of. We're halfway done, and everybody else kind of like took care of the rest.
Right. Right.
But we had some place to stay where it was dry and more electricity. We was
The
able to get
mold and-
power out to the
Real
cabin and
power,
everything.
yeah.
And get that all, so we had electricity at least, and lights, and electric heat.
Uh-huh.
It's primitive.
then-
We wanted to live off the land. I
Uh.
mean, that's still electricity, but we got exactly what we asked for, kind of.
Yeah.
Did.
Well,
We were so
sometimes it takes
blessed.
that to spark you, to say, hey, I could do this.
Mhm.
Roof a roof? No, not
But
me. No, but.
I'm gonna.
yeah, yeah.
We did it all.
And so you came out here, you found you a place to live. You worked on the property. What skill sets were missing that you got, oh my God, I don't know how to do this.
So
Oh my
much of
God.
it. It was constant learning curve.
Yeah.
There was a lot of just dig in and hope you did it right, I think, a lot of the time. And breaking labor and just constant drive and having to be on it and being focused and having communication. So it was having to have the ability to just be willing to dig in and learn whatever needed to be learned.
That's where YouTube came in.
Oh my
You just
goodness.
search for
Love
something
YouTube.
and
Love you.
was able to, that's how I learned how to do a lot of different oddball things I didn't know how to do. Just look it up,
Right.
and try to find different resources. Ask people,
Right.
that are experienced at it, how they do it, and try to do the same. Or a lot of stuff that I've seen, because I'm, an electrician. I've been on commercial, industrial, residential, construction sites for 15 years. So it's a lot of stuff I've seen framers do and roofers. So I have an idea. I've seen it done. It's just a
Right.
matter of taking what I've seen and trying to figure out how to do it right.
Yeah.
and just
Which
doing it.
hammer to use? Yeah. 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 That's excellent. And how do you think this place has affected your family?
Brought us closer.
Yeah, it brought us more family oriented. Even with them, they're like, Tyler's like my brother. Liz is my sister. And their kids are like my kids.
We have a
And-
family nickname. We're the LeBogs.
Yeah.
Because we're LeBogs. So when we refer to ourselves, it's often LeBogs.
I
So that's kind of the running thing, that we're just integrated and they're a family. So
He's like our best friend.
see. Yeah.
he is our best friend. And they both
Is
are.
there what is it about this place that you love?
Liz and Di?
Yeah.
Oh,
Liz and Ty, they've done so much to just change this whole entire place. It's like, it seemed like every time we come here, because we, eventually got on our feet and were able to move out and, get on with doing our lives. But every time we come back, like every week, there's something new. You come out,
at
there's
least
a barn.
2 or 3 new
Where'd that come out?
projects going on.
And
Always.
it's like always something new. So they're always so. I mean, if they don't know how to do it, they find somebody who does, and just it gets done.
Yeah.
I love the mission.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they're about, and I love their community-driven spirit and their willingness to always do whatever it takes to help someone else out. They give you the shit off of their back. They would do anything. I mean, they're just good people, and they've created. You attract like people,
Right.
and they've attracted good people,
Right.
and they're about creating a positive environment and watching your mindset, and about building people up and encouraging and helping them to be the better versions of themselves, and helping them embrace gifts and introducing them to new things and new opportunities. And Tyler's always great about connecting and helping people reach resources, because, well, he's always been about make your dreams, make your list, because even if you don't know a resource, I might, and I can help you get in
right.
touch with your dreams. So they're huge motivators, and their heart for other people is just huge, and that's what this property, I think, represents. Is it's been their heart flourishing and their ability for outreach, and the amount of people that they impact on a daily lives through the ripples of their actions on a consistent daily basis, because their heart is always good, and they're always out trying to do what they can to make the world a better place.
Right.
So while everything on here is amazing, I guess it's the spirit of the property that's my favorite, that I love the most.
Where do you think you'd be today if you had not found this place? Well, how would your life?
Honestly.
How would your life?
I don't know. we,
Pretty scary.
yeah, no,
It was.
they saved our lives.
And our kids,
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty powerful.
No, yeah,
and many other people since.
no, yeah.
The lives
Quite a few
they've
different
changed.
people who come through here, and they've gone, and we miss a lot of those people. They really, yeah, but the impact that they've had on them, I know it's changed their lives for the better. It's done it to us and our whole family.
And
Have
they
you
carry it forward.
you worked down there at all? Down at the pantry?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we good.
We're on the board. Well, I'm on the board.
Yeah, she's on the board. I come to all the
So-
meetings.
Of the
so-
of the pantry?
Yes, of the food pantry.
Of the 501(c)(3)?
Yeah, yes.
Excellent, excellent.
I was actually the first member on the board. So as it was established, as they were figuring out all the logistics and the paperwork and then the amount of people they need on the boards and working with attorneys and all the research and work they did into it, it was getting the right amount of people and the right board setups and in structuring it correctly. And so there was a lot to it, but I was the original member of the board that was expanded as the food pantry is expanded. Yeah.
I happened to spend yesterday morning at the distribution center, where all the food is stored. I saw 3 semi-trucks sitting there, completely stuffed full, heading to the dump. And they brought their truck out, and we filled their truck, and we brought it back. We went out again today and filled their truck and brought it back. This seems to me so sad that there has to be people like this to save that food for people that need it, you know, and you've walked in those shoes. So this whole process for you folks must have just been mind-boggling as far as what it could do for you and your family.
In our immediate circle, I mean, there's enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody we know is going through rough time. I don't know one person who isn't right now. Not one.
And you've been able to share this with relatives and
Oh, yeah.
friends.
And friends come
We-
pick up things
well,
when they don't have
Yeah,
enough.
if they needed something, we'd come up, pick it up. Like when we lived in these apartments down Newburgh, and we had got a new manager, and they hadn't quite moved it because we were in the manager's unit. They didn't have a place to really live at the time, so they were living in their his sister's basement. They're living in a basement, and
Right.
9 people,
Oh.
and they're like, we don't have like much food. And they're like, I know a place where you can get food. You should come up to Heart Farms and come to the Good Neighbor Family Pantry. They got food left and right. So that day after she told me that, I came over and Tyler had gotten a truckload of Butterball turkeys. Gave him like 2 of them. You know, and I had like 10. I gave them out to other people and other friends. Just
Kids took them to food drives at school.
Yeah.
Like having stuff like that on hand when it's needed. And so that was around Thanksgiving time. So being able to send Butterball turkeys to school for these boxes too
Right.
makes a difference.
Right.
Cousins and family members and friends. And I work at a bank in the community, and so like I see people of all economical levels, many on fixed incomes. So letting them know about a resource that's in their community that has no limitations, that they can come when they need it to be able to help meet that, is a huge tool.
Yes. Yes, it
So-
is. Yes, it is.
The potential ripples that just keep going on, it's so beyond the immediate even contact, because the word is out that this is a resource available to our community that there's no limitations on and there's no shame tied to. It's if you need something, you come get it when you need it, not be limited and told what you get to have, what you get to pick. You get to choose what you want for your family, and you get to have the best of what's out there. These are some major places that they're being picked up from, and it's amazing quality, but people just don't know that it's a resource that's available to them.
Right.
So it makes a big difference the more word gets out, because that's the more impact. I know already doing more than the Oregon Food Bank in a MASH production. The amount that we're doing as a food pantry is unbelievable, and it's happened in such a short period of time. It's just been exponential growth, and I know this is a God thing. I know every step of the way this has been something that God has been guiding, and that this is something that has potentiality to be something very great. And it's a great movement that I think everybody should be behind, because food shortage is such a major issue for our nation
Right.
across the board, and there's all this food that is going to waste, that it's just connecting the people with the right resources to be able to start that movement and spread a wildfire across this nation, to be able to make this movement, this being able to get hands into the people who need it and closing that gap. It's within everybody's reach. Anybody can do this. Anybody. You have a little space, can you go talk to your grocery stores? Can you go plug in and find out what is available? What can I do? Because every little bit, it makes such a difference for the people who don't have food, for the people who can't get out of their houses, for the people who are on limited income, who are on being able to help them stretch that so that maybe they can get what they actually need on a monthly basis with their finances, rather than having to spend it on food that is way too expensive. That makes such a big difference in people, especially people who are on a fixed income.
Right.
Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe there's so many things that are coming up. Like I said, I don't know anybody who's not going through something right now.
Right.
So just getting the word out about what's available, what resources, and letting people know too, like, this is, anybody could do this. Anybody can make this difference. It's just a matter of getting up and going and doing it and getting the motivation. And I hope this makes a difference for people, that someone sees this and is able to take it and to copycat it. And I hope it's, at least if nothing else, plant some seeds so that the heart of what's being done here can spread, because this country needs a heart, and we need each other, and we need our communities, and we need our people coming together, because it's so much more than food here. Yes, food is what's offered, but there's hope that goes with it. So being able to spread hope across the country, I think that's what's needed more than anything else right now.
If you could change one thing here that you see is maybe could be done better, maybe could be expanded on. Do you see it here?
I could see anything here. The availability, because it just keeps growing and expanding. Like I said, it's been exponential since it started. There is no limit to where it could go. No limit. The only limit has been so far trying to find the funding to be able to keep operations, things like that. I mean, it's not a huge overhead, but being able to pay someone to do the pickups and the trucks and the being able to dispose of everything. So there's steps that go into it that cost money. And much of the food pantry is run off of volunteer hours. It couldn't be done without volunteer hours. It takes everybody. It can't be done by just one person. It takes a full community. It is community run. So that takes so much off of it, and it brings on the overhead, but there's still operating costs. So I think that would be more of it, just being able to find out ways to be able to provide
bring that money in.
exactly so that it can expand, because there is no boundaries. There's so much more room potential, more trucks, more drivers, being able to expand the area that it's in, being able to fix parking, being able to make it so that it's more accessible to more people.
Right.
That, because there's the food volume is down there. It's being able to get the people up here. So it's being able to market. It's being able to have the things in place to be able to help it expand, just like it's on track to.
Excellent. This is all a circle. This is all a circle. Everything here, this whole project, my video, they laid the foundation, but it's folks like you that have seen the rewards, have seen the need, and now take it beyond here to those you love. That's pretty special. And you guys should feel really proud, because not many people that make it this far, you know, and to see what you've been able to do here, and know that when you walk out of here, that this is here for years to come. You know, that's pretty powerful. That is pretty powerful. And tell me one. It's going to be hard to do. I know it's going to be hard to do. And everyone I've said this to says, what? In 5 words or less, what is it about Liz and Tyler that keep this spark alive?
Passion, vision.
I think they're angels.
His drive, and ambition. I think they have the groundwork. He has the vision. They have the vision. They have the plan for putting it into action. They have the heart and the passion to be able to keep it going, and they have the work ethic that keeps everything moving. They honestly, they work at least the equivalent of 3 people, and that's their secret. Tyler always said, get up early, go to bed late, be the first one up, the last one to bed, outwork everyone else. And he puts that into action every day. He works harder than anyone else, and he makes things happen. And Liz right along with him. They're a power couple that nothing can get in the way of.
Thank you. Your input, you know, it's all pieces to this puzzle. And like I said, it had to go full circle. My video would do nothing if this was not a complete circle. And the fact that you guys are here today is proof that this works. And that all you need is love. And I just hope that my skills will bring this in video form to others who can't come out here and can't take this step, but will be inspired by what you guys have done. And even if it's just inspiration, that can change the world. And if we get on TV, I'll send you a link.
Alright, sounds good. Thank you, Ray.
I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for
No
doing
problem.
this.
You guys, drive safe and enjoy what's left of this beautiful day.
We're going to go have game night, actually.
There you go. There you go.
They're constantly trying to get us out.
Oh, that's why I saw. Hey, we're pulling the games out of the cupboard. Right on. Well, go have a good game night.
All right, thank you, sir. Look, there's more frogs. I'm going to call a little man back.